Alright, hello folks, welcome back to Wandering in the Wilderness. Looks like we've made it to part 3 of my John Muir Trail hiking adventure. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, you might want to go check those out, but without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So, here we underway here on day 10. Kind of a big day. This is the beginning of the second half of the trip where it's 8 or 9 days until I get to the end, so no stops in the middle. Mosquito. The clock has kind of started on the amount of food that I have, so I've got to finish at a particular time at this point. I've got for sure 8 days, and I could stretch it to 9 days if I needed to, so I don't think it's going to be a problem, but we'll see. Feet are starting to hurt a little bit, but you know, that's somewhat to be expected, I think. Muir Trail Ranch was kind of a disappointment. Not much there, just pick up your resupply, and so I just kept on going another 3 miles to this campsite, which worked out pretty well. Looking to get about 13 miles today. Hopefully we can camp next to Evolution Lake. Got an interesting crossing of Evolution Creek. Let's see if we can make the miles today. I'll see you a little bit further on down the trail. Day 10, made my mileage goal. Found this awesome camp spot at Evolution Lake. It was not easy coming up the hills with that full pack. Resupplied for 8 days. Man, that is a lot of food. Ooh, bugs. So yeah, trip's going well. I think I fixed part of the problem with my feet. I relaced my shoes a little bit. And it felt a little bit better today. Calf is fine. I've been stretching for the past couple of nights just to kind of keep things loose. That's it here tonight from Evolution Lake, and we'll see you on a little bit further down the trail. Made it up Muir Pass today, over the top. Made it 13 miles so far today. Feet are feeling a little bit like hamburger, but it's not even 3 o'clock yet.
It was raining a little bit. Now the sun's coming back out, so maybe I'll just rest up for a little bit and then continue on down the trail. You know, making my mileage for the day. Matter of fact, I'm making my mileage for the day pretty early. Maybe I need to sleep in more. The sun keeps coming out like it is right now. I think I'll probably end up getting up and walking a few more miles. It's an awesome trip. Loving every bit of it. Although mosquitoes and steep downhills on loose rock, those are two things that not my favorites. Rest up here a couple more miles and then we'll go. See you on down the trail. Okay, so I did make it another 2.5 miles down the road to this campsite. My feet are hurting. Not so much blistered as bruised, I think, but laid down with my feet up for a while and then soaked them in the ice cold river down there. So hopefully with a little bit of sleep, things will get better. So end of day 11, came over Muir Pass, all the way down here through Kings Canyon. Tomorrow, a lot of uphill up to Palisade Lakes. We're moving right along here. We got 140 miles in, so I guess that leaves about 80 miles to go. Awesome trip, awesome experience. Not always easy, but always worth it. So probably gonna get to bed early tonight, get up early and see if I can get a lot of that climbing done before it gets too hot. So, all right, beginning of day 12, about 9 miles, 2,200 feet up to Palisade Lakes today. We'll see you later on down the trail. Made it to my campsite above Palisade Lakes. The golden staircase really sucks the life out of your legs. So this is probably good enough. Still on schedule. And if you wander over here just a little bit, what you can see is the objective for tomorrow, which is that pass up there. The one that's right about there. That's where we're headed tomorrow. All right, making my way up Mather Pass this morning. A little bit of smoke in the air. Hopefully that's nothing that affects my trip a little bit later on. Coming up the golden staircase yesterday was a little rough. Only a 9-mile day. Today I got about 11 miles to Lake Marjorie, and we'll see how it goes. But for now, trudging up Mather Pass, day 13. Lucky day 13. Let's see what happens.
of day 14, climbing up Pinchot Pass. Had a whole family group decide to camp next to me last night. Wasn't the solitude I was looking for, but they seemed like nice folks, so I think it was 10 or 11 of them. I can't imagine trying to get a backpacking group together with 10 or 11 family members. That would be a logistics nightmare. But anyway, trying to make it to Dollar Lake today. We'll see. It's 13 miles. This trip is slowly winding down. It's kind of crazy. Hopefully make it to Whitney here in just a couple of days. We'll see you a little later on down the trail. Made it a little bit past Dollar Lake today. Made it up to lower Rae Lake. I kind of got talked into it by a few trail friends at the top of Pinchot Pass, and it turns out to be a pretty good idea. The spot here is beautiful. Tomorrow I've got to get over Glen Pass here, make it another 12 miles or so. Day 14, pretty successful. My legs actually felt pretty good at the end of the day. Hopefully tomorrow will go just as well. See you a little bit later on down the trail. All right, beginning of day 15, we're getting closer. Over Glen Pass today, position myself for Forester, and we'll see what happens. After that, Bighorn Plateau, Guitar Lake, and then Whitney. So not much left. Every day is a new adventure, and every day's got some pretty serious views to go along with it. So we'll see what today holds. We'll see you a little bit later on down the trail. Of day 16, about 3 miles and 2,000 feet up to the pass. 10 miles today, 10 miles tomorrow. Whitney on day 3, so it's getting real close. But I'll see you a little later on down the trail. Day 16, interesting day. Came up over Forester Pass. It was long but not too difficult. Been dealing with a little bit of weather. Yesterday it rained on me a little bit. Today, when I got out onto Bighorn Plateau, there were storms over Forester Peak, and then there were storms over Whitney, and Bighorn Plateau is kind of right in the middle. So it was a surreal experience, and sure enough, it wasn't too much longer, and then the storms were on me. So ended up huddled underneath a tree trying to stay dry with a couple other guys. After about 45 minutes, it slowed down enough. I found my way to this campsite, which isn't bad. It's got a flat spot. It's got
the creek, so that works for me. And what a difference a few hours makes. When the rain was coming down, it was probably like, it felt like probably about 45 degrees with a cold rain and a little bit of wind. And now there's not a cloud in the sky, and maybe it's back up to the mid 60s. So I've got my stuff over there drying out on a rock, and hopefully that will get me ready for tomorrow. Short day tomorrow, since I didn't want to stay out in the open on Bighorn Plateau. That's where I planned to camp. Not a big fan of getting struck by lightning. Found my way a couple more miles to this site. And tomorrow, only 8 miles to Guitar Lake, which is kind of the staging area for your climb of Whitney. All right, the beginning of day 17. The bad weather kind of split up the little group of friends we had going along here. We're all headed for the same place today, though, Guitar Lake. Hopefully today stays warm and melt some of that hail and snow that fell on Whitney yesterday. A short 8 miles to Guitar Lake, and then Whitney tomorrow. So hopefully all goes according to plan. And tomorrow afternoon I'll be eating a burger at the grill at Whitney Portal. So hopefully everybody gets their chance to get to the top. And hopefully I do too. Day 17 of 18. So here we go. We'll see you a little bit later on down the trail. Top of Mount Whitney. Here we are. Give you a little view. 18 days to complete the John Muir Trail. Here I am, top of Whitney, 14,505 feet. I think I'll have my victory Snickers and start heading back down. Alright, so it's a long way down from Trail Crest down to Whitney Portal. I didn't record much on the way down for a couple of reasons. One, descending 6,000 feet is not a whole lot of fun. Second reason was I almost ran out of camera batteries. And then about 4 miles before the trailhead, I got hit with the worst rain and hail that I got the entire trip. So, you know, everything was wet and soggy. I didn't feel much like filming as soon as I got off the trail. But a cool thing did happen.
I met a couple from Austria that did not speak much English, but their German was pretty good. And strangely enough, a guy on the trail that I had met just 2 days earlier from Switzerland, his German was pretty good. And when I got off the trail, my Swiss friend Bjorn was talking to the Austrian couple in German, and Bjorn managed to get us a ride into Lone Pine. So it was very serendipitous. The trail friends that I met were able to translate and help get me a ride back into town. So it was an awesome trip. When I got into Lone Pine, I stuffed my face with a ribeye steak, all the fixings, pie. It was awesome. If you've never been on a backpacking trip, I can't recommend it enough. Start small and work your way up. This trip for me was an introduction into the world of thru hiking. I learned a lot. I learned I've got to continue to keep cutting down that pack weight. Learn what you really need to take and what didn't get taken out of the pack for just about the whole trip. Thanks for watching this, and until next time, get out there and go for a hike. We'll see you.